All right, we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Nathan, would you take the roll, please?
Councilmember McPherson.
Here.
Councilmember Biggs.
Here.
Councilmember Laraway.
Yes.
Council President Bruce.
Here.
Mayor Steer.
Here. And if you'll join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First item up is the consent agenda. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, Biggs? No.
Motion?
I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as published.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Any discussion on that motion? Nathan, would you poll council, please?
Councilmember McPherson.
Yes.
Councilmember Biggs.
Yes.
Councilmember Laraway.
Yes.
Council President Bruce.
Yes.
And that motion carries. Public comment. Is there anybody who wishes to address the council? All right, seeing none. We have ALS Awareness Month proclamation. Whereas amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, known by many as Lou Gehrig's disease, is a progressive, fatal neurodegenerative disease in which a person's brain loses connection with the muscle, slowly taking away their ability to walk, talk, eat, and eventually breathe. And whereas every 90 minutes someone is diagnosed with ALS and someone passes away from ALS, and whereas on average patients diagnosed with ALS only survive 2 to 5 years from the time of diagnosis, whereas ALS has no cure, and whereas people who have served in the military are more likely to develop ALS and die from the disease than those with no history of military service, and whereas securing access to new therapies, durable medical equipment, and communication technologies is of vital importance to people living with ALS, and whereas ALS Awareness Month increases the public's awareness of people with ALS dire circumstance and acknowledges the terrible impact this disease has, not only on the person, but on his or her family and the community, and recognizes the research being done to eradicate this disease. Now therefore, I, Joe Steer, Mayor of the City of Kuna, do hereby proclaim May 2024 as ALS Awareness Month, and call upon Kuna citizens to join in supporting ALS research, advocating for increased funding, and standing in solidarity with those affected by this relentless disease. Did we have somebody that brought this forward in the audience? No. Okay. All right. Public hearings, consideration to approve case number 2304AN and 2304-S. Doug, are you taking this one? Basically, we didn't receive the critical agency comments and request this item be tabled to a date certain of June 4th, 2024. I think they made several attempts to have the school district make comment, and they didn't take any. And since we made them a critical agency, that is holding up this case. So I guess we'll continue to try to get the school district to comment on this case, but if not, I mean, at some point we can't. They wanted us to do this, but they have to at least comment. So anyway, that's where we are with that, and they're requesting a table of this.
I make a motion that we table case number 23-04AN to a date certain of June 4th, 2024.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
No discussion. Hi, my name's Robert Burton. I'm at
Oh, you're gonna need to
Sir,
come up to the mic there.
Never been here, done that.
Okay.
Sorry, Joe.
No, you're fine.
Name is Robert Burton.
It's very complicated.
Sorry for the new complex situation here. My name is Robert Horton. I'm a resident at 835 West Hubbard Road, which is adjacent to the property in Annex. My concern is that in the past, I have been denied my irrigation rights, which are fully paid and acknowledged by the irrigation district, and would like to make sure that it's entered to the record that before this project go forward, that they be reinstated, because they have been denied by the applicant.
Okay, we will check into that. What was your name again?
Robert Horton,
Thank you.
Did you say Horton?
Horton, 935 West Hubbard Road. Thank you for your consideration.
Good, that'll give staff homework. All right, we had a motion and a second. Oh. Okay.
We'll time you. Ready?
Good evening, Mayor, council members. Danielle Horace, 711 East Porter, CUNA School District. I just want to acknowledge that we understand that we did not submit for this, and I wanted to explain why. Just on Tuesday, we did supply a new letter that we will supply to packets like this, but we wanted it to go through our trustees, and we needed it to match the new zoning ordinance changes. So we've made a significant shift in I guess, the language and how we communicate and what we include in our letter, but we needed that to go through our school board. So that did just happen on Tuesday, so you won't see that again, and I apologize for the delay, but we wanted that language to be aligned.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Good, thank you.
All right.
We have a
All
motion.
in
and a
favor,
second.
say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Discussion of possible use of solar-powered streetlights in the city limits. Bobby Withrow and Doug Hanson.
Mayor, council, for the record, Bobby Withrow, 751 West 4th Street. So as you guys may or may not know, my department is in charge of taking care of the streetlights in our city. And a lot of the time, right now, we're going through some upgrades where we're upgrading the bulbs from low sodium to LED. And with that, we've had a few requests over the years to add a street light here or there because it's too dark in that area. When we've looked at it in the past, it has been non-cost effective to put one in because of the price of power and how much it costs to get there. Now they're coming out with solar-powered streetlights, and we have had one at our shop off of Shoreline for 2 years now. And I think it's something we need to look into to help illuminate those dark areas for our citizens throughout the city. Right now, there is nothing in code that says we can't do it. With that said, there's also nothing saying we can. So we wanted to pick a spot that we've identified and try it out for about 6 months, and then come to report to you to see if it's actually feasible to do projects like this in the future. The solar ones, the upfront cost is going to be cheaper because we don't have to run power to them. And with that, we won't have to pay the monthly power bill on those as well, which isn't, I don't think it's too extreme, but we wouldn't have that. The downfall with these are there, they're not gonna be as bright as our main streetlights. So we're not gonna be able to switch them out totally for our subdivision lights. These are only to help, like I said, illuminate the dark areas we have, mostly in the old parts of town. With that, I stand for questions.
Okay, yeah.
If we, I don't understand a lot of the mechanical part of it, but would we be just replacing the light and the charge system at the light, or do we have to replace the whole stanchion?
Councilman Laraway, we have to replace the whole thing. In the cases I'm talking about, there's nothing there. So we'd actually put a concrete pedestal and then a light on top of that. So it would be brand new. And that costs right around $6,000 for everything, for the concrete and the light, if we go solar. If we go the other way, the streetlight itself is $4,500 plus the cost of getting power to it, which I can't tell you off the top of my head what that is, because the distance is going to be different every time.
Is this something that planning and zoning is keeping a watch on for future development? Like maybe we should require developers to put solar in?
For the record, Doug Hanson, Keno Planning and Zoning. Bobby and I have worked back and forth on this quite a bit, had a lot of conversations. The plan currently is just to evaluate how one of these lights would perform for about 6 months, as Bobby mentioned. I don't think it would ever be feasible to utilize these types of lights on our classified roads, so collectors and arterial roadways. I think those will always be powered. This is going to be more of a, if it would ever come to fruition, a case where someone would submit an application on a case-by-case basis, so we could then evaluate the area, see how far you would actually have to pull the power to supply power to a light, the level of darkness around it, like Bobby mentioned, older parts of CUNA where it's just not really feasible to pull power several hundred feet and install a street light in that regard. Outside of this location, the Del Taco off State Highway 69, that's served by solar-powered parking lot lights, so that's something else we've been looking at as well as far as how efficiently those have been operating.
Thank you.
Yeah, it helps resolve an issue. There's a couple of spots in town that are really quite in need of a light, and it's just cost prohibitive to, I think the one area we looked at, it was like $80,000 or $100,000 even to run the power to get a light there, because we're in the right of way. We gotta tear up the side of the street. It's pretty expensive to do one light in the middle of a street, so. I think it's a good thing, and like they said, this is kind of a test run to see how it works, and if it doesn't work, I guess we won't do too many, but.
So when you're saying the old part of town, you're just talking about like downtown CUNA, or were you talking about like I don't know,
Well, the one.
Martise?
What location?
One area is on Cleveland Avenue, so you go through the roundabout one more block, and then that street that goes over.
Yeah, so that, okay, so that area, okay, that makes sense.
Councilman Big, yes, that area.
That's what I was thinking,
So-
like, you know, library area, those streets down from there.
Yeah, I like downtown CUNA and some of those other areas.
Thanks.
So basically, just looking to give a blessing to carry on with
Will it, I have a question.
Yeah, go
Will
ahead.
it come out of a budget that we've already set aside?
Councilman Bruce, there is a streetlight budget, that in the future we will budget for these kinds of things. Right now, we do have a couple lights that aren't utilized at the moment, that we can use, for the next 6 months while we get one ordered.
And so the question is, he's just asking us to put together an estimate, or is he asking us to fund it right now? Is that what?
Councilman, right now, just your blessing to start the transition into looking into this and see if it's feasible. And then in the future, we'll try to build it into the budget where we can do 2 or 3 of them, but we'll make sure it's within the budget.
So,
We don't need a vote for that, just, I would be in favor of that.
Mark Bybee, City Attorney. I noted that this doesn't look like it's marked as an action item, so I think this is really discussion, so Bobby can just get an idea how the council feels about him pursuing this. I wouldn't recommend taking a vote when you have no action item designated.
Right, so unless somebody was just terribly opposed to it, let them go ahead and proceed with that.
Can we do thumbs up?
Thumbs up?
All right. All right, very good, thank you. And was there any further questions on that? Okay. Next, we have an ordinance, consideration to approve ordinance 2024-08. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Cuna, making certain findings and enlarging the boundaries of the Cuna Municipal Irrigation System by the inclusion of Ada County Assessor's Viper Investments LLC, and declaring water rights appurtenant thereto are pooled for delivery purposes, and directing the city clerk to record this ordinance as provided by law, and directing the city engineer to provide notice of this ordinance to the Nampa Meridian Irrigation District, the owners, and update the irrigation system map, and providing an effective date.
Make a motion that we waive 3 readings of ordinance 2024-08.
Second.
Motion's amended and seconded to waive the 3 readings. Is there any discussion on that motion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Make a motion that we approve ordinance 2024-08 as published.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Is there any discussion on that motion? Nathan, would you poll the council?
Councilmember McPherson?
Yes.
Councilmember Biggs?
Yes.
Councilmember Laraway?
Yes.
Council President Bruce?
Yes.
And that motion carries. And that is all we had on the agenda for tonight. Is there anybody that has anything they want to mention, bring up?
If we had a long, CUNA resident, Eric Willis, who passed away yesterday or this morning from esophageal cancer. He lives over by Mart, so I worked with him, so he always tries to pay it forward in the community, so maybe put him on your prayer list.
I wanted to say congratulations to our centennial class graduating on Thursday at 2:30 at the Idaho Center. My son will be one of them. So,
Very nice.
class of 2024.
2024, 100 years ago. Good. Anything else?
Mayor, for your proclamation, would it be okay if I deliver a copy of that to Tom Rivera's wife
Oh, yes.
for our former employee who passed away from ALS?
Yeah, we'll have them put it in a folder like that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes. All right. Well, I want to thank the staff for all the good work you do and appreciate everything you do. And with that, meeting is adjourned. Thank you.